So before I quit drinking, there was this long period where I felt unhappy about my drinking, but I didn't know what to do about it. And I didn't want to stop, to be honest. So during this time, I often tried hard to be good from just Monday to Thursday instead. Because I could kind of get my head around staying alcohol free during the week. I could usually make it happen if I put my mind to it. And it kind of made sense not to drink then because I was actually at work and I was juggling lots of commitments and, things like long hours and early mornings. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to me, they were totally different. And the idea of not drinking wine on those days was just unthinkable. A whole weekend of being sober wasn't going to happen. So for a long time, I thought that being good during the week was the next best thing. It was like a halfway house. And it wasn't until many years later, actually when I started coaching other women to go alcohol free, that I realised there is this huge problem with Monday to Thursday sobriety. Well, in fact, there are 3 different problems, to be honest. So I want to talk about this in case you have found yourself in a similar pattern. Because if you have, here's what you need to know. This is just the stuff I wish someone else had told me. Okay, first thing. If you only ever stop for a few days, from Monday to Thursday, you are forcing yourself to repeat the hardest part of sobriety again and again. Seriously. The early days are some of the toughest. So when you only stop for 4 days at a time, you barely get alcohol out of your system. Never mind giving yourself enough time to form a new habit or have a breakthrough. So without realizing it, you're repeating the toughest part over and over. So it's no wonder that your brain learns that sobriety is hard and unsustainable because you only ever experience that crap bit. You never actually reach the good part of it because you don't stick with it long enough to get there. Do you see? But here's the second problem. If you are only ever sober during the working week, you subconsciously teach your brain that alcohol-free living is only possible when you are at work, in a routine, and not doing anything fun. That's exactly what I did. I treated sobriety like some kind of strict diet that I could do for a few days, knowing that I'd have a blowout at the weekend. And long-term successful sobriety happens when you realize that you can live a full and happy life without alcohol, no matter what day of the week it is, whether you're on holiday or at home. But in order for that breakthrough to happen, you do have to commit to being alcohol-free at the weekend and just be willing to practice that. Here's the third problem. When you're only ever stopping for a few days, all you can really do is cross your fingers and hope for the best. Yes, you'll need to think about how to get through wine o'clock without drinking, but that's about all you can do. That's all you've got space for. So no way do you have time to get clear on why you've been drinking. You cannot tackle some of the root causes, and you can't really find new healthy coping mechanisms. You just don't have time to work on your mindset, tackle your limiting beliefs, educate yourself about alcohol, and, really understand how it affects your mind and body. You can't do that mindset work because there literally isn't time in 4 days. So listen, those are some of the problems with Monday to Thursday sobriety. And here's what I want to leave you with. I just invite you to consider whether this is really working for you. Because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, and I know this, you actually don't get a moment to step back and kind of think about it. So if you're really happy with this pattern of drinking, you're going through every weekend drinking and then starting over on Monday, then fine, ignore what I'm going to say next. But if you're not happy, you might want to consider this. What if it's time to change things up by taking a longer break from drinking so that you can improve your experience of alcohol-free living? And I know right now you might be thinking, bloody hell, Kate, how is that going to happen? Like, the only reason I can get through these few days of not drinking is because I know I'm going to allow myself to drink at the weekend. It's like my reward for this abstinence. But what if you weren't doing this alone? And what if you weren't relying on willpower on your sober days? And what if you were getting some support to stop drinking and to handle things sober? What if you could do this in a way that actually felt so good on your not drinking days that you genuinely wanted more of them? And what if you were like changing your routines and finding other ways to reward yourself or to celebrate yourself and to have fun? What if all that was happening? And those aren't really what ifs. This is all possible for you. And this is what I help women at the Sober School to do. And I wanted to show you that and talk about that because right now you are doing this hardest part, the beginning bit, over and over again. And you're teaching your brain that this is what sobriety is like, but it isn't like that in the long term. Otherwise, no one would do it, okay? So I'm Kate B. Let me know in the comments what you think about this and just where you are with weekday versus weekend drinking right now. I'd love to hear about it.